Next on NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
On this week's edition of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman, we head to Georgia for tips on preventing clostridial disease. Plus, Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper shares his thoughts with cattlemen at the 2011 Cattle Industry Annual Convention and NCBA Trade Show.
And now, NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman with host Kevin Oxner.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman. I'm Kevin Oxner. Thanks for joining us. Topping this week's cattle industry news is a major concern for America's beef industry, the shrinking cow herd. At the end of January, the USDA reported that all U.S. cattle and calves totaled 92.6 million head. That's the lowest number since 1958. The concern is that even in a time of improved profitability, cow-calf producers are not adding to their cow herd. And as a result, U.S. beef supplies are tight. At the recent Cattle Industry Annual Convention in Denver, we asked leaders of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association for their thoughts on this shrinking cow herd.
When you look at where we're at, this is the smallest cow herd, basically in a generation or so. And we're really needing to increase that because we've got consumers out there, they're going to want products. Cow herd doesn't turn over as fast as, say, poultry or swine. It takes us some time to build that, and we continue, to shrink our factory. We're getting rid of those cows, and we're getting rid of heifers, and at a really pretty much the highest pace we ever have. We need to turn that trend around. It's tough, though. It's tough for folks when, a market animal's worth $1,400 to say, I'm going to keep her as a cow. We're going to have some period of sustained profits out there for cow-calf producers to say, yep, I'm going to be able to keep that heifer back and make her into a cow. So we're hopeful that'll happen.
Well, I tell you, what I told my boys was it's time to get cowed up because this thing's going to get good. And so we have actively expanded our herd, and we're breeding more heifers this year than we have for many years, matter of fact, ever. I think that these prices are so high, it's so tempting for people to just go ahead and sell those heifers because they're worth a lot of money and put them into the feedlot end of things. But at some point, that's going to come back and bite us. So I hope people will if they've got the grass, get some cows on it.
CattleFax analysts are predicting some continued herd reduction in the first half of 2011, with some stabilizing of the U.S. cow herd in the second half of the year. The 2011 Cattle Industry Annual Convention and NCBA Trade Show was a great time to meet with fellow cattlemen and talk about some of the important issues facing our industry today. And we had the chance to ask a few people about their message to the Obama administration. Here's what they had to say.
Don't regulate without understanding. I think that cattlemen are good stewards to the land, and we're good stewards to our animals. It's frustrating to me as a cattleman and as a Nebraskan to have an administration that not only doesn't trust me but thinks that they know how to do my business better than I do. And I do think that we need to reach out in partnership, and I think that we can learn from each other. But that's going to require the administration accepting our knowledge, accepting our offer to help, and wanting to work together.
I would ask them to try to look at what we do and realize that we provide a valuable, critical product to this country and to the world, and that they would look at us as willing participants in doing the right things the right ways, and to remove those things that impede us from doing it, and to allow us the freedom to go out and produce the best, highest quality beef in the most sustainable way in the world.
Well, probably to hire a few more cowboys and get their advice, especially on the ag issues. I mean, get more people in there from that are familiar with how things really work and get things done.
We couldn't stand up here long enough for me to tell you what I really think. But the gypsum thing, it's got to go away. We've worked all these generations to produce more efficient cattle, and for people to be paid for the better quality cattle. And it seems like that's going to try to take it all away. If the government will get out of our hair, we'll run our ranches. And if we weren't sustainable, we wouldn't be here today. So we all try to take good care of our country and good care of our cattle because that's our livelihood.
I guess my one message right now would be, let's get some of those free trade agreements opened up. Let's get these accesses to these other markets going.
I'd say get some of those free trade agreements done. Those, our domestic market is pretty good, and we're happy with that. But those foreign markets are pretty important because those are products that we typically don't use here at home. And so if we've got a home for them, it just makes our product more viable as an economic commodity.
Find some common sense. That would be, that's what the whole ball game's about. We live with having to use common sense. You get too far removed, it's so easy not to understand all the issues that are involved, and we live it every day.
The National Cattlemen's Beef Association works hard every day to get your messages just like these out to Capitol Hill. Become a member of NCBA today. To do so, call 1-866-USA-BEEF or visit beefusa.org. It's an investment in the future of our industry. February is American Heart Month, and what better way to share your love for beef than with a new recipe from the I Heart Beef campaign, funded by your beef checkoff dollars. Here in the studio today to show us a new method for cooking beef is Dave Zinno, Executive Chef of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, and brought to us here by the Beef Checkoff. Thanks so much for coming to the show.
Kevin, thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Well, first of all, tell us about the I Heart Beef campaign. At convention, we were all running around with these buttons. Tell folks a little bit more about it.
Well, as you mentioned, February is Heart Month. So we thought, what better month for consumers to express their love of beef during February. So February kicks off the I Heart Beef campaign. This is our second year we're doing it. We get great consumer response to it. On our Facebook page, you can go there and see all the consumers sharing their love of beef.
That's great. Yeah. Well, and speaking of love of beef, you've got a couple of my favorites. It looks like some tenderloin there. Tell us a little bit about this two-step and tenderloin you're going to show us.
Okay, these are tenderloin steaks, and these are one of our 29 lean cuts of beef. Mm-hmm. And we've cut these about 1.5 inches thick, and I cut these this morning. What I'm doing right now is I'm getting a pan, heating the pan up. And we're going to
put them on the stove.
We're going to put them on the stove. Okay. That's step one, and that's the sound we want to hear. That
I
sizzle.
like that sound, yeah.
Okay. And actually, when we're browning beef, what happens is that we're introducing flavor to the beef that's not intrinsic to the beef itself. So we like that nice caramelization. Yep. What we're going to do is we're going to cook them on each side for about 2 minutes.
Okay.
And then after they're brown on each side, we're going to take them and place them in the oven.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Step 2 of the two-step cooking method.
Two-step. Okay, we got one step. Now we're moving to two-step. I'm interested, why do you put them in the oven instead of a barbecue grill?
Okay, because they're cut so thick, chances are if you were on a grill or we just left them on the pan, the outside would char and cook faster than the inside. So we'd have a kind of an overdone outside and an underdone middle. And this is, I like to call this technique the chef's secret, because chefs have been doing this for years. And you saw with just a couple of seconds, we're able to brown them on the stovetop and then finish them in the oven in about 13 minutes. They'll be done.
Very good. And the end result then looks something like this. Now, I was going to ask you, I mean, you use fillets. Is there anything else that you can use the two-stepping method for or not?
Any thick steak cut would work. You could use a top sirloin, a New York strip, again, anything that's, if you want that extra restaurant quality steak eating experience at home, you could use any steak. And by the way, the strip and the top sirloin are also part of our 29 lean cuts of beef.
Fits right into the new food pyramid, right?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And what are you going to recommend we serve with these fillets?
All right, if you go to the website, beefandSwitzerdinner.com, the two-step and tenderloin recipe is on there.
Okay.
And what we did is that we paired it with a little bit of pesto. Which is a nice complement to beef.
And you made that pesto, did you?
Yes, we did. We've got a real easy recipe for it. And then I always like to say that beef has always been the center of the plate for a healthy meal. And we like to pair beef with vegetables. So today I've got whole grains as well.
Okay.
I've got some carrots here.
Yeah.
So we'll place the carrots on.
Yeah. That's great.
Some green beans.
Yeah.
And then for a little extra flavor, some onions, and I kind of like a little bit of onion on my steak as well.
Absolutely. That looks delicious.
You bet.
And super easy.
And you bet. And I think would make a great dinner for Valentine's Day.
I was going to say maybe February 14th. Thanks so much for coming to the show.
Thanks for having me, Kevin.
For this and many other great beef recipes, visit our website at cattlemantocattleman.org. Ahead on NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
When it hits, it's a disaster, and it won't just be one or two. Usually it comes in a group.
How preventing Clostridial disease can save cattlemen time and money. Plus, the big surprise one Virginia rancher got during fall calving season. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Education, networking, opportunity, and fun. That's what you'll find at the 2012 Cattle Industry Annual Convention and NCBA Trade Show in Nashville, Tennessee. Get your ticket to ride with your fellow cattlemen and women in the country music capital of the world. You'll find cutting-edge education, top-of-the-line technology, and entertainment that can't be beat. Don't miss your ticket to ride to the Cattle Industry Annual Convention and Trade Show in Nashville, Tennessee, February 1st through the 4th, 2012. For more information, visit beefusa.org. Comprehensive, practical, powerful. Now's the time to put the power of DNA to work in your herd with the comprehensive Identity Profile. The inside information from Identity can help you make more confident replacement heifer and herd sire selection decisions, add marketability to your feeder cattle, make faster genetic progress, and more. The best time to get started is when you're already working cattle, during branding, weaning, or bull soundness exams. Get started today. Visit iGenity.com or call 1-877-IGENITY to put the power of DNA to work in your herd.
You take pride in the beef you raise. Countless hours invested to assure a safe and wholesome calf crop. Why trust that calf crop to just anyone? Experience the new Dinklage difference with a long history and reputation for outstanding performance and cattle care. We use a combination of cutting-edge technologies and data-driven decision-making to establish our place as leaders in the cattle feeding industry. Allow Dinklage to be a part of your team in the quest to maximize your profits. With 5 locations to serve you in Wyoming, Nebraska, and Colorado. For more information on the new Dinklage difference, stop by one of our yards or visit us on the web at dinklagefeedyards.com.
Welcome back. With today's cattle market, disease prevention is key. One outbreak can dramatically decrease a cattleman's overall profit for the entire year. Reporter Brian Baxter takes us to Summerville, Georgia, where one very busy producer explains why it's important to find time to vaccinate against Clostridial disease.
I worked for myself for years. I run a business that we had and just slowly drifted back and started buying a few cows, and before I knew it, that's all I had time for.
Tucked away in the northwest corner of Georgia, Bill Bryan runs Bryan Farms, a cow-calf and stocker operation with 4 herds of cattle spread across 2 counties.
It makes it tough when you got to go 10 miles to check on a herd of cows and then turn around and go 8 miles in another direction. It takes up a lot of your time during the day.
That's why Bill relies on his family to keep the daily tasks on the farm running smoothly.
My wife helps me every day. She does a lot with the day-to-day, going checking on the cows that are calving and counting, making sure none of them are out or anything. My daughter, Christy, just graduated University of Georgia, and she helps on the farm. Kayla, she's in high school, and when she's not in school, I can get her if I need help to go round one up or to go fix a fence or something like that. And it's pretty much a family operation.
In addition to running a cattle operation, Bill is also actively involved in the Georgia Cattlemen's Association because he believes promoting the beef industry and educating producers is time well spent.
I've been on the board for about 6 years, and this year I'm president. We'll be till the 1st of April. I conduct the meetings and try to keep up and help the staff conduct the day-to-day business. My cell phone's rang more times in the past 9 months than it has since I've had it.
With Bill's busy schedule, dealing with a Clostridial disease outbreak is not something he wants to spend his valuable time or money taking care of.
Clostridial diseases are a bacteria that's very unique in that It has the ability to form a spore that is like a grain of sand that can be in the soil and stays in the soil forever, and it withstands extreme temperature changes and drought. And then the animal can pick it up out of the soil, and it grows inside the rumen and can spread throughout different parts of the body.
When it hits, it's a disaster, and it won't just be one or two. Usually it comes in a group. It's deadly. It's mainly in your calves that are 2 months to 2 years of age. Now, you can get it, a cow can get it, but it's usually in that age group.
A cow has been around for a long time, may be exposed and develop some immunity, and so they're less likely to get actual disease, whereas the calf hasn't never seen it, sees it for the first time. It's just like any cold or any disease you see for the first time. You get the worst clinical signs at that time, and so that younger animal is much more susceptible.
The most commonly known clostridial disease is blackleg, but Dr. Ensley says there are also many other types producers need to be aware of and protect against.
Clostridium shoveii is what we consider blackleg, and then we have septicum, Clostridium septicum, Clostridium sordellii, Clostridium novii, Clostridium perfringens C and D, and we also have Clostridium novii D that was formerly thought of as hemolyticum or red water disease. And then we also have Clostridium tetani, which everybody knows about, even humans.
When Bill's uncle had a blackleg outbreak in his herd, Bill saw firsthand the benefit of having a good disease prevention program in place on his own operation.
My uncle had called one day and he had found a couple of dead calves. And in 3 days, he lost 8 calves, I believe it was, to blackleg. And he never had vaccinated, and we'd vaccinated some of ours. And I seen real quick what a disaster can be in just a matter of 2 or 3 days.
Generally, in most clostridial diseases, it's too late once you see the clinical signs. Treatment is usually not very beneficial to those animals. You think you're doing a lot of things right, and ranchers can go out and, they look at the cattle one day and they look good, and the next day they're dead.
We'll return to Georgia for more tips on preventing clostridial disease when we return.
Like you, Behringer Ingelheim Vetmedica Incorporated knows the territory. With over 30 years' experience, you can rest assured that when you work with us, we work for you. We have an extensive line of vaccines and parasite control products for beef cattle and offer professional support in the field. We're continually bringing you innovative animal health solutions to help you build the most profitable beef operation possible. Behringer Ingelheim. When it comes to your herd, we've got your back.
Purina's wind and rain minerals are research tested and field proven to provide balanced mineral nutrition essential for cattle health, growth, and reproduction. They're highly palatable so cattle consume what they need when they need it. And wind and rain minerals special formulation resists the elements so they won't blow out of the feeder and maintain their palatability even if they've been wet. Wind and rain cattle minerals from Purina Mills, building better cattle.
Quality matters to me because I love my family. I want to raise my family here like generations before me. My family has always worked together and played together. We have always laughed together and cried together. My family is my life. Careful stewardship of the animals and resources that are under my care benefits my family. They live where I work and eat the same food that I produce. I'm proud of what we'll do here today.
Welcome back. Let's return to reporter Brian Baxter in Summerville, Georgia, who's learning more about ways to prevent clostridial disease.
Losing cattle takes an extreme emotional toll on the producer, but a clostridial disease outbreak also means a substantial profit loss.
If you wean and sell a 500-pound calf and it averages $1 a pound, that's $500 a lick. If you lose 6 or 8 calves, you've lost a pretty good bit of profit. I mean, you've kept that cow for a year, and you've fed her and you've taken care of her and provided, a place for her to be, land for her to run on. And then you lose her calf, you've lost a whole year for her. I mean, it's not like that you can, if she loses her calf, you can go out and replace it tomorrow. I mean, that's it for this year.
Beringer Ingelheim Vetmedica Incorporated has 3 different families of products to help prevent a clostridial disease outbreak while also meeting the producer's specific needs.
The Alpha family is a neat vaccine in the way that it's a 2cc dose. If the animals are 3 months of age or older, it's a 1-dose product. Caliber is the typical 2cc blackleg dose that requires 2 doses, but it's very smooth. You're not going to impact growth in those calves. You're not going to see a lot of issues with it, and it does a really good job. It's very clean. The Barvac family is probably from the older generation. It's a 5cc dose that gives you good protection. It does require 2 doses, but it has multiple different combinations, and so it's a great product for some operations that are looking for something a little less expensive.
Bill uses the Alpha 7 MB1 product because not only does it prevent his herd from contracting a clostridial disease with just a single dose, it also protects against pink eye, another common disease cattle face.
Alpha 7 MB1 is a unique combination for the Alpha family in that it has a true 1-dose pink eye product also. And it has 8 strains of Moraxella bovis, which is the causative agent for most pink eye lesions. And being that 1-dose strain is we get it in early, we get good 7-way clostridial protection, and we get a pink eye product that's been proven to work throughout the year.
We like it because it's 1 shot and you're good for a year. Most of the other brands require a booster shot in 21, 28 days. Some of them in 14 days. A lot of the producers around will ask me, well, what do you use? And I recommend that one to them because some of them have never got them up before and done it until they lose a calf or 2 to blackleg. And if they only have to get them up once and do it, they're more likely to go ahead and do it than they would be if they thought they were going to have to do it twice.
In addition to clostridial disease, pink eye is also something that can dramatically impact the calf's health and the producer's bottom line.
There are some studies out there that show that there can be a 70-pound drop in weaning weights with that, and if we figure what the price of a pound today is, that's a pretty good cost.
When you're talking about vaccinating a calf, a blackleg pink eye combination shot is less than $2 a head. And if you've got 100 calves, you're going to spend less than $200. And you lose 1 calf to disease, and you've lost 2 to 3 times that much in today's market. It's like an insurance policy. To me, it's something you got to have.
Bill hopes Bryan Farms will be around long enough for his daughters to take over one day, and he believes having a good herd health program is the key to his operation's success.
I want the animals to be healthy. I mean, I don't want them out sick and dying, and we try to take care of them because they're how we make a living.
Reporting from Bryan Farms in Summerville, Georgia, I'm Brian Baxter for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
Now, for more information on ways to prevent clostridial disease and pink eye in your operation, log on to our website at cattlemantocattleman.org. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Assuring beef quality begins with dedicated people such as Phoebe Bittler, a dairy producer, and Jim Warren, a cattle auction market owner. Both are winners of the Beef Checkoff-funded National Beef Quality Assurance Award, and both recognize the need for the entire industry to focus on beef quality.
We've tried to put our best foot forward and try to see that the product that we send out of this country is the most wholesome, safest, best product that anybody could have anywhere. And to be complimented for that effort is an amazing experience.
It's all important, and I think there's some really good protocols laid out in the Beef Quality Assurance Program that will help producers to do the best job that they can do.
Producers across the nation have embraced the BQA program because they're committed to producing the world's best beef. To find out how you can compete for the BQA National Awards, visit the website bqa.org.
Tucked away in northern Virginia is an operation where cattle, horses, and crops all share the land. Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Dave Russell has more from Lazy Lane Farm.
It's a little different every day. Everything changes with the seasons. You get a fresh crop of foals every year, a fresh crop of calves, a fresh crop of just about everything.
We run 70 spring calving cows, 70 fall calving cows. There's always something going on, always calving and checking the cattle real quick in the morning and the health of those, the rotational of our forage program, and then the cropping, wheat, soybean rotation with all the hay we need for the horse operation and the cattle.
On this 1,800-acre farm in northern Virginia, cattle share the land with top-notch thoroughbred horses. It's a diverse operation that works well for General Manager Frank Shipp and Cattle Manager Jim Wiley.
Well, having them all together, it allows us to run an integrated operation here on the farm and use the land really for what it's intended to be used for and what it has its best use for. And rotating cattle in and out of the horse fields is good for the land, and producing good top quality beef is also important to us.
I love being diverse, and that makes everything interesting. You know, there's certain land better for the horses, and then this rougher mountain land at the foothills here is much better for cattle. And the middle land is our crop ground, and it all works well together. I like the variety.
Lazy Lane Farm is home to a registered Angus seed stock herd, and with careful management, the Angus genetics have been continually improving.
Every year it's a little harder to get a top group picked out. We're getting the quality up that much. It used to be you only had a few good ones and you had a few bad ones, and you had to sort through the middle, but now we have good bulls all the way through.
Jim Wiley believes the secret to success at Lazy Lane is not only the quality of their cattle, but their commitment to customer service.
We got environmental adaptability, disposition. These cows like this country right here, and got a lot of repeat buyers. The cattle are pretty trouble-free. We've eliminated a lot of the problems and a lot of the hassles. They do, they're real set of forage cows. They do well on grass, and there's not a whole lot of supplement or hand care.
With the most recent fall calving season, there was a big surprise at Lazy Lane, a very rare, healthy set of triplet Angus heifer calves.
I seen a cow had a calf. I knew the calf wasn't up to size, and she was looking back in the trees, so I figured there was a twin. I told her, I'll go get your other half, and when I went to get the other, I figured a twin. She had two back there, and she had them all cleaned and fed by the time I found her, and everything's going well so far.
Jim says the triplet heifers are healthy and thriving and got a whole lot of attention.
Everybody got a little farmer in them, and when something like that comes along, they all want a picture and ask about how the girls are doing.
Beyond the Angus triplets, Lazy Lane is well known for its champion thoroughbred horses, including Hansel, a horse with real heart who made a big impact on the racing circuit a few years back.
He was champion 3-year-old colt of 1991, won 2/3 of the Triple Crown, the Preakness, and the Belmont. Started favorite for the Derby, but didn't run a particularly good race that day. But he earned almost $3 million. He's now 23 years old, and he'll be here for as long as he lives.
Cattle, horses, and crops. It's a combination that works for Lazy Lane, and they rely on organizations like NCBA for information and education to help their growing beef business.
That is a group which is dedicated to producing top quality beef animals and doing things the right way. And so to be able to participate and be a member of that also gives us a chance to operate at top efficiency.
Reporting from Upperville, Virginia, I'm Dave Russell for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
Did you know the chances of having triplet calves is only 1 in 700,000? We're glad to hear they're doing well. Ahead on NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman, I talk with Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper about the importance of agriculture in Colorado. We'll be right back.
You like the John Deere 568 round baler for everything it has. Now, you like it even more for what it doesn't. Get rid of the twine tie system
and run a 568 with nothing but net. That's right, nothing but easy loading, fast wrapping, bale protecting, cover edge net wrap. Put one to work in your field. See your John Deere dealer today.
Win a Ford pickup or other great prizes during the Green Fever sweepstakes. See your John Deere dealer for details.
Draxxin, clearly cattlemen's #1 choice to fight BRD. Here's why.
Nothing's more depressing in a stalker business as the doctor and doctor. And you still have your chronics, you still have your death loss. And with Draxxin, we just found out that, especially with microplasts, you just had to be there to see the results.
And the evidence backs up what most cattlemen already know. Draxxin cuts chronics and mortalities by 70%. So talk to your veterinarian and check the online calculator at Draxxin.com. You'll see, nothing gives you more for your money when you're fighting BRD.
Just a great antibiotic. Very, very effective. Don't let the price tag scare you. It's a no-brainer. You just use it.
Do not use in female dairy cattle 20 months of age or older. Do not use in calves to be processed for veal. Draxxin has a pre-slaughter withdrawal time of 18 days. Please visit Draxxin.com or call 1-888-DRAXXIN for more information.
Cattlemen and women from across the country gathered at this year's annual industry convention and NCBA trade show in Denver. But there were also plenty of people from right here in Colorado who attended. I had the chance to talk with Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper about his message to cattlemen.
We're here today with the newly minted Governor of Colorado, Governor John Hickenlooper. Governor Hickenlooper, can you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
Well, I grew up outside Philadelphia and came out west back in the mid-1970s. Got a master's in geology, figured out a way to stay out here. Moved out and started working as a geologist in 1981 and had 5 great years in the oil and gas business, and it collapsed and I got laid off. Our company got sold and I ended up opening a restaurant that brewed its own beer. So a brew pub. It was the first one in the Rocky Mountains, and we built that into a bunch of different restaurants. And about 8 years ago, some crazy fools talked me into running for mayor of Denver. And, you know, I was frustrated like so many people that there was no small business common sense in local government. So I said, all right, no one's going to elect me because I'm not a politician. I never ran for student council or class president or anything. And somehow I won 2-1. So I was that for 8 years. And then this last November, the citizens of Colorado elected me governor. So now I'm back on another. I had to learn a lot just to figure out how to be mayor. Now I'm on that same steep learning curve, but I love it. I mean, I got to drive. I was in all 64 counties of Colorado in the last 12 months, and I, got to meet and sit at people's kitchen tables and hear about their dreams and aspirations and their challenges, and how do we get government out of the way of people trying to make a living and build this country.
Well, you were just recently inaugurated, if you will, as governor, and it was an awful cold day then, too. Tell us a few of the goals you have for the state.
Well, right now the focus is clearly on jobs and the economy. We're trying to, one of the things we did each year when I was mayor was made the number of city workers smaller. There's so many baby boomers retiring. This is a great time. If you really believe that you can make government smaller and yet do more, provide more services, do a better job of teaching our kids, keep more snow off the roads, which on a cold day like today is important. This is the perfect time to do it. So we're trying to get talented people to leave their high-paying job in the private sector and give us 3 or 4 years in public service. And we've been pretty lucky so far. We've got a great team of people in the cabinet, and I think we're going to try and reinvent government, try and get people back to work, try and get government, cut the red tape. We need some regulation. We've got to figure out any bureaucracy, whether it's government or business, has a natural tendency to cover their flank, create more rules and protections, and what becomes red tape, we're going to go after it. We'll see what we can do.
And what about agriculture? A lot of people think of Colorado as mountains and ski slopes. They don't realize how diverse our industry is. What would you say in terms of the importance that agriculture plays in this state?
Well, one of the great joys of the campaign was getting to go out on the Eastern Plains and spend real time with people. And we went to dairy farms and feedlots and met a lot of sheep ranchers out in northwestern Colorado. Tried to really get a flavor of all the different agricultural enterprises. One of the things I didn't know was Colorado was such an innovator, right? A lot of the dryland farmers have ways of injecting seeds so they don't have to plow. They save 10 or 15% of the amount of water they need. Some of the different irrigation techniques that were pioneered in Colorado. Part of my goal, to realize that a secure, safe source of food is so close to your major urban areas is, I think it's part of our national security. And so we made a real, my 8 years as mayor of Denver, one of the things we worked on was for the whole metro Denver area. Our water utility, Denver Water, supplies water to about 1.2 million people, almost a quarter of the state. And over the last 8 years, we've cut that per capita consumption by 35%. And the goal is to say, all right, how do we make sure there's more water for our farmers and for our ranchers, because they're part of our future.
And one last quick question. What would you say to the folks from all across the United States, the beef producers that came here to Denver for this convention?
Well, it's a little cold today. It'll be warmer tomorrow, and I'm going to sign an official proclamation, make sure it really warms up on Friday.
Fantastic. Thank you, Governor Hickenlooper. We appreciate your time, and we'll be back after this.
Quality matters to us because we're entrusted with the safe transportation of animals. Those animals can represent generations of hard work. It's up to us to deliver the goods that drive the beef industry. We link all the segments of the beef industry together, passing the torch of quality from one business to the next. Consumers count on us to bring the quality that starts on the family ranch to their home. I'm proud of what we'll do here today.
NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman. It's a television show by cattlemen for cattlemen.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman. Thanks for joining us.
Each week, join host Kevin Oxner for the latest in beef cattle news, market analysis, and producer education. Cattlemen won't want to miss an episode. Debuting Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on RFD TV or anytime at cattlemantocattleman.org.
There are many top purebred operations for commercial cattlemen to choose from when they want to buy top-notch breeding stock. But what goes into getting ready for a big sale day? Cattleman to Cattleman reporter Dave Russell has more from one of the nation's elite purebred Angus operations.
They have a saying at Whitestone Farm, bulls are our business. And this commercial Angus breeder not far from Washington, D.C. has been able to build a strong business thanks to a focus on high-quality genetics.
We'd like to think that the quality that we have here is a culmination of 23 years of genetics that we've put together that backs these bulls out of some of the greatest cows in the breed. It's very important that we raise and develop the right genetics that meets our customers' needs.
Every March, the best Whitestone has to offer is up for auction at its annual bull sale, where buyers from all across the country come in search of Angus bulls they can rely on.
On sale day, we'll have as many as 400 show up from all across the country. We know what our customers want and need, and we tailor this bull sale toward our customers' needs. We have to make sure that we're raising the bulls with the right frame score, certainly the performance, the ability to flesh and maintain that flesh. 23 years of success, having one of the very best sales each year in the East, speaks volumes for our program. I don't say that in the wrong light. I say it with a lot of pride because it is a very competitive market, and we've been accepted, and the commercial cattlemen in this area trust us, depend on us to produce a quality set of bulls for them.
In addition to superior genetics, the other key to success for Whitestone is making sure the customer always leaves happy.
Our bulls are 100% guaranteed, and here at Whitestone we really pride ourselves in the customer service that we give our customers. If you buy one of our bulls and you take him home, and if you're not happy with him for any reason, if you don't like the way his breath smells, you don't own him. And it's no hassle, it's the way we operate. We want our customers to be happy. The Whitestone name stands for honesty, integrity, and quality. We pride ourselves in that. We totally depend on our customers to survive. And I don't think you can have a successful operation without those three things.
That strong customer support is what keeps cattle buyers coming back to Whitestone year after year. And for Mark DeFell, raising cattle so near to our nation's capital has cemented his belief in the value of Whitestone's strong support for NCBA.
Why am I such a strong supporter of NCBA? Because they're our voice, our voice in Washington. I'm very passionate about NCBA and what they do for us as cattle people. We need that voice in Washington. Without it, I don't think we as cattlemen and cattlewomen could survive in this business. There's just too many factors working against us, because so much of the general public, they don't understand what it takes to run a farm, to raise cattle, livestock, and NCBA helps put the good word out there and enlightens people that we do live off this land, we do protect this land, we take care of it, and you know, we raise these cattle very humanely, and we raise a good product that's going to be a pleasurable dining experience. So NCBA really helps us with that. They're our friends.
Reporting from Whitestone Farm in Aldie, Virginia, I'm Dave Russell for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
Now, this year's Whitestone Bull Sale won't be on the third Monday of March like in past years. Instead, it will be held on Saturday, March 26th in Aldie, Virginia. To find out more about the sale, visit cattlemantocattleman.org. Stay with us. Baxter Black is up next.
Join the folks at Whitestone Farm in Aldie, Virginia for their annual Angus Bull Sale, Saturday, March 26th. This is the place for the finest in premium Angus genetics, offering 90 yearling Angus bulls and 30 open Angus heifers. And Whitestone bulls are pasture performance tested.
We'd like to think that the quality that we have here is a culmination of 23 years of genetics that we've put together that backs these bulls out of some of the greatest cows in the breed.
Beautiful Whitestone Farm is located just 20 miles west of Dulles Airport in Aldie, Virginia, and it's well worth the trip. This is where you'll find Angus genetics that pay. And with the right disposition, quality carcass traits, and more, Whitestone Angus bulls will work for you.
Our bulls are 100% guaranteed. And you know, here at Whitestone, we really pride ourselves in the customer service that we give our customers.
To find out more and request a sale book, call 703-327-4863 or visit the website whitestonefarm.com. Whitestone bulls don't cost, they pay.
Why is B&W's turnover ball the best-selling gooseneck hitch in the country? Maybe it's the ingenious way it solves everyday problems. Or because it's time-tested and is rated to tow 30,000 pounds. Maybe it's because our lifetime warranty gives hard-working people peace of mind. Or maybe it's because folks love to own a hitch that's still 100% made in America. The Turnover Ball by B&W. Trusted.
With the advent of third-party verification, cowmen are able to add value to their calves by preconditioning or early weaning, or seek specialty markets like all natural, sugar-free, or do source and age verification for export. Well, that's what IMI does, and it's not as expensive as you might think. Call them. What do you got to lose? IMI Global's green ear tag. It's like having Honest Abe co-sign your note. IMIGlobal.com. The banker took his ledger out. The rancher took a seat. Let's see, I lent you $20,000 for cattle, corn, and wheat. Let's talk about your cattle first. The rancher's face looked pained. You know how bad the market's been. I lost 15, he explained. 15 what? 15 cents a pound, or 15 died of thirst? No, $15,000 lost. But hey, it could be worse, because the hogs got sick, and my son got drunk and joined the Moonies church, and I figure I'm down 40,000. But hey, it could be worse. What do you mean it could be worse? That ain't even funny. The rancher shrugged and then replied, could have been my money. The rancher sat across the desk applying for a loan. He'd never borrowed cash before, he'd made it on his own, but times were hard, as he explained, and if they only could, he'd like to borrow 20 grand. Well, the banker understood. That doesn't sound unreasonable, although it's quite a lot. Your cows can be collateral. How many cows you got? 200 head, the rancher said. That's give or take a few. Well, that's enough, the banker said. Of course, there's interest due. In 3 months' time, the rancher came and paid the loan in full, but in his poke he had some left that was expendable. Why don't you leave that cash with me? The banker said, content. You put your money in my bank, I'll pay you 8%. The rancher paused. Now let me see. You gave me 20 grand, and then I paid you extra back for lending me a hand, and now I give you this pile of cash, and you pay me this time the extra that I done forked out at slightly over prime. The banker nodded helpfully and lit himself a smoke. The rancher seemed to cogitate, and then he finally spoke. Well, I ain't too good at high finance, but you put me on the spot. Fair is fair. So tell me, sir, how many cows you got? This is Baxter Black from out there.
Thanks, Baxter, for that financial insight. We'll be right back.
Join the National Cattlemen's Beef Association. NCBA is the premier cattle industry organization representing your best interests in Washington, D.C. and across the country.
I want to have my voice heard, and this is the strongest way I can speak it, is through NCBA. And my little voice gets a lot of magnitude with this group.
Well, I've been an NCBA member for a long time. My family thoroughly believes in giving back to the industry that they make a living from, and I've carried that on from generation to generation, and this is the organization of choice for the beef industry.
Every day, NCBA works to represent you on issues including trade, taxes, food safety and nutrition, animal welfare, and the environment.
The main reason I'm an NCBA member is to become engaged, more knowledgeable about everything that's going on in the beef industry.
It's easy to join NCBA. Just visit beefusa.org or call us at 1-866-USA-BEEF.
From California to Florida, NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman covers the beef industry. Each week, join host Kevin Oxner as he interviews industry leaders about the topics that matter most to you.
When we think about that impact in our industry, it starts with looking at that picture of beef demand.
NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman, a television show by cattlemen for cattlemen, Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on RFD TV or anytime at cattlemantocattleman.org.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at this week's Legacy Photos. We love seeing your farm and ranch pictures from around the country. To submit your favorite picture, visit our website at cattlemantocattleman.org. Next week on NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman, we'll head to Florida for tips on managing pink eye on your operation, plus Baxter Black and the week's news and market headlines. Thanks for joining us for this week's edition of NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman. We'll see you right back here next week on RFD TV.
Assuring beef quality begins with dedicated people such as Phoebe Bittler, a dairy producer, and Jim Warren, a cattle auction market owner. Both are winners of the Beef Checkoff-funded National Beef Quality Assurance Award, and both recognize the need for the entire industry to focus on beef quality.
We've tried to put our best foot forward and try to see that the product that we send out of this country is the most wholesome, safest, best product that anybody could have anywhere. And to be complimented for that effort is an amazing experience.
It's all important, and I think there's some really good protocols laid out in the Beef Quality Assurance Program that will help producers to do the best job that they can do.
Producers across the nation have embraced the BQA program because they're committed to producing the world's best beef. To find out how you can compete for the BQA National Awards, visit the website bqa.org.